next and final stop for this program is an event that is underway.
Yeah.
Just kicked off.
In one of my favorite cities. We're talking with Sydney Hawkins, Communications Director of the Ann Arbor Convention and Visitors Bureau. And Sydney, your Ann Arbor Summer Festival has just kicked off, and you guys have a very long, very in-depth schedule of events for Summer Festival.
Yes, it's a huge event. It is one of Ann Arbor's premier events, if you will, and it brings a lot of people into the city. A lot of people are excited. There's something for everybody at this festival.
Well, yeah, and talk about that before we get into specifics, just the various things you've got, because you've got musical acts, you've got movies. What else is included?
Well, when it comes to the musical acts, there's Al Green, there is the Capitol Steps, there's Cinematic Titanic, which is something that's really cool that is happening at the Michigan Theater. It's a nonstop rifling on some of the absolute cheesiest movies ever made as the original cast of Mystery Space Theater 3000 flanks the jumbo screen. So that's the description on that, and a lot of people are really excited about that. That will be happening coming up in later July.
Okay. Yeah, and this runs all the way to July 8th, so you've got literally weeks of things going on.
Yes, literally.
Yeah. And now I find the movie selections kind of interesting. I mean, how did you pick, or did someone pick? I mean, one night is Breakfast at Tiffany's, and the next night is The Big Lebowski.
And, I think that just speaks to trying to have something for everybody at the festival.
Sure.
There's music, there is kids' activities, there's family activities. There are things for people that love comedy and obviously science theater like we were just talking about. I think, not only were they interested in doing some throwback events as far as the movies are concerned, but they were trying to, kind of find something for everybody there.
And you've even got now what is Ariel?
Ariel, Zoe, and Eli, too.
Yes.
I'm very familiar with them, George.
Are you? Yes. Tell us about them.
They are Ann Arbor residents. They have a kind of a variety show that airs on a lot of the PBS stations. They are one of our great Michigan Film Incentive recipients. They are currently taping their third season, but again, they're kind of local Ann Arbor celebrities. They've had guests on like the Verve Pipe, and they've done some stuff with U of M's musical groups, and so they have this television show. These three kids that they put on.
Great. Excellent.
Yeah, and then there's even, like we were talking about some of the different things that are available, like Circa. Have you heard about that?
No.
It's it's kind of like Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's going to be a fusion of acrobatics, aerial stunts, extreme tumbling, contemporary dance, and a lot of people are really excited about that. That takes place toward the end of the festival on July 6th and 7th.
And so, since this is a lengthy schedule of events, as we talked about, so typically, as far as obviously residents, Ann Arbor area residents go to a lot of these things, but as far as visitors, they come in for a couple days of it. How does that typically work?
A lot of people do. You can look at the schedule online and kind of schedule things around what you want to do. There are people that come in for a couple of days and go to many different things. There's also Top of the Park, which is something that's really awesome that Summer Festival does, and it is a series of outdoor free events. So not only are there the main stage events that you can get tickets to, but there are also tons of Top of the Park events every night. It's a great way to go out and get some food and walk around. You can kind of camp out and watch some of the films that are playing. They have outdoor films that are playing. They also have the After Dark Top of the Park, where there's DJs that play. I mean, there's everything. Yeah.
I think for a lot of folks, too, one of the attractions to Ann Arbor, obviously, is the restaurant scene there. But many people may not be aware of it. Can you just talk about that a little bit? Because obviously, if you're going to all these great events, you're going to want to probably have lunch or dinner somewhere. Kind of talk about what's going on with restaurants. Maybe, name some, whether either new ones or favorites or that kind of thing.
Oh, wow. I mean, as you probably know, Ann Arbor is known as a foodie city.
It is, yes.
Everybody comes here for the food. There's so many restaurants. I mean, if people haven't been to Ann Arbor before, you walk up and down the streets, it's hard to choose. So there's a lot of favorites. You can stop and get something quick. We actually have a food courtyard called Mark's Carts. Have you heard about Mark's Carts?
Have not.
Well, there's about 10 different places that you can choose from that are it's like a courtyard. They do have some live entertainment there once in a while. There's a vegan cart. There's a grilled cheese cart. Zingerman's actually sponsors the Sand Street cart. That is Asian street food. There's all kinds of things there. You can also stop at Le Dog. There's Frida Batidos. That's a kind of a good grab-and-go place and very popular here. If you're looking for more of a sit-down dining experience, you can go to Vinology, Mani, Osteria. That's a newer place that is really fun.
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, it's good. They do it's kind of like an Italian food fusion. They do a lot of the oven, like the wood stoves for the pizza. What do you call that? I'm trying to think.
Wood stove.
Yeah. And they come on these giant tomato cans, so it's a really cool presentation.
Of the pizza?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're looking for Ethiopian food, Turkish food, I mean, you go to Blue Nile, there's Aisha's Cafe, there's Jerusalem Garden. I could literally keep going and going and going when it comes to the food here in Ann Arbor.
Now, for the summer festival, are all of the venues right in downtown, or are some of them outside of town?
You know what? I believe most of the venues are right downtown, like where Top of the Park is, and then there's the Michigan Theater, Hill Auditorium, the Power Center. That's all located within downtown and U of M campus.
So really, the restaurants you're talking about then would all be walking distance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So that's just a downtown Ann Arbor experience, which is fabulous.
And talk about that.
And I mean, it's also a good idea, too, if you are going to be downtown heading down to Top of the Park. I mean, there are some that are a little outside of town that you could stop into as well.
And talk about the fact, and this is one of my favorite things about Ann Arbor, is it really is a walkable town. It's a town that encourages and is friendly towards folks that want to just get out of their car and walk.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge downtown. A lot of people don't realize how big it is until they get here, and you could keep walking and walking, but it's all in a concentrated area. It's kind of like a little big city.
A little big city. Yes, it is, indeed. And then, we should mention, too, since many of these are evening events, the other thing is just the music scene. We've got a couple minutes left. What's happening kind of there, and what kind of music places would you recommend?
There's Match by Match. There's Rio and the Rockabilly Revival. There's Third Coast Kings, Theo Katzman, the Wannabes. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is actually going to be showing at Top of the Park. I mean, there's movies, and then there's music, and have you heard of the Ragbirds by chance?
No.
They're going to be playing, and they're actually kind of like a local band that's pretty big around here. They play at the Blind Pig and Circus and Woodruff and some of the local venues a lot. You'll see them sometimes at the Arc as well. So, I mean, I could keep going as far as the musical events. I'm pretty excited about Nellie McKay. Rufus Wainwright is going to be here.
Yep.
Esperanza Spalding is going to be here. I mean,
it's a great lineup.
Kind of overwhelming as far as the musical acts that are going to be here.
And that's all at the Ann Arbor Summer Festival coming up. It started already, actually, this weekend. Runs all the way through, and let me just make sure I get this right, July 8th. Yes, so a good couple of weeks here of musical activity going on for the next 2-3 weeks. We're talking with Sydney Hawkins. Thank you for being with us, Communications Director at the Ann Arbor Convention and Visitor Bureau. For more information on Ann Arbor's Summer Festival, which again runs now through July 8th, their website is AnnArborSummerFestival.org. How convenient that is, AnnArborSummerFestival.org. So be sure to check that out. Obviously, we have information about it, about the festival at Michigan.org as well. That's it for Travel Michigan this week. Tune in next week for Travel Michigan, where your trip does begin, as always, at Michigan.org.